Oh, I timed out because I'm sitting here waiting. Went inactive. Okay, we'll try that again. I'm being long-winded during times when I got a password prompt in front of me. I'd probably type the password instead of it being long-winded and explaining everything I'm doing here. All right, so admin, Cisco, enable, which you can shorten. I'll mention that in a second. I'm not going to lecture while I'm sitting at password prompt. Notice I didn't type the whole command enable. I just typed ENA, and actually I could have shortened it down to EN. As long as the command is unique, you can shorten it down to as short as you can possibly make it. In the case of enable, there's another command that starts with E, being the exit command. But if I typed EN, that's the only command that starts with EN. Therefore, EN would have been enough to make it a unique command and would have accepted it as the enable command. Let me actually show again the difference here between user exec and privilege exec like I was trying to. So user exec is this greater than sign, level 1 access. Level 15 access is indicated by the pound sign. There's actually 16 levels of access. There's a level 0, which I guess there's lower than user exec. It's a configurable thing. 2 through 14 can be set up as administrator to allow different levels of user access into a device. Maybe you have a mid-level technician that needs to have access to some of the features of a device, but not all of the features. So you could create certain levels as an administrator of a very, very large network. But by default, you have a user exec level 1 and privilege exec, which is level 15, indicated by the pound sign here. Once you're here, you essentially have full control of the box. You can do very damaging things at this particular juncture. I could, delete the configurations, which I'm going to do in a few minutes here. I could also delete the iOS and basically make the box a big brick, which I would have to actually show up with a console cable and get into ROM monitor mode, which is essentially BIOS of a Cisco box. And then from there, either TFTP, if it has the functionality to do that, TFTP a copy of the iOS back onto the box via the network, or copy it over via X modem or Z modem, which is a very slow, painful process if anybody's been through that process. All right, so from here, I want to show you your new best friend. There's something like 200,000 iOS commands once you've broken out all the different options, and even the CCIEs don't have every single one of the command options memorized. So you're really going to have to understand that in the Cisco realm, you need to use the help facility, and you need to use it quite frequently. Now, the help facility in Cisco iOS is context-sensitive help. When you hit the question mark, you're essentially asking for help, and it's going to tell you all the things that are available from the context you're at right now. Let me actually go back to user exec and start from there. So if I type in the command disable, I'm now back to user exec. That's a command you'll need to know for a test, maybe. I guarantee you'll probably never use it unless you're doing something like what I'm doing and demoing stuff for students that are trying to learn this. Disable essentially takes us back to level 1 or user exec. And I'm doing that just specifically to show context-sensitive help. So if I hit question mark here, notice that as soon as I hit question mark key, I didn't hit enter after it. I hit question mark and it immediately started displaying help. So what I'm getting is all the commands I can type from this prompt. I have commands such as access enable or connect, which would connect to other terminal connections. I can type the ping command, and actually the ping command is even limited. It's ping. You can only ping IP addresses from here. You don't have the capability of doing extended ping from this prompt, which would allow you to increase the number of pings or change the payload size or even change the interfaces that ping packets are coming from. I could SSH opt to another device, so I could jump from this device to, say, the router. I could also, telnet somewhere else. But I don't have commands that are really damaging to the device. You notice there's no configuration command, so I don't have a configure command here. I also don't have a delete command, and there's several things that are missing because in this context, these are all the commands that I can type. So if I change my context and go to enable, and I did a little trick here also I want to make you aware of. if I type enough characters to make it unique, I know I can accept it, but if I hit Tab, it will complete the character string for me as long as it's unique. So by typing ENA and hitting Tab, it completed it out and said enable is the command you're looking for. So hit Enter. Password again was Cisco, a password you definitely should not use in a live network. And from here, I'm now at privilege exec, or level 15. I'm going to hit the question mark key again, and now notice that the number of commands has increased quite a bit. I now have certainly commands that I wouldn't allow the user exec mode to have, like things like erase or format, or I mentioned configure before. So these commands, make directory, change directory, these commands are all commands that you'd only give to somebody who had root access of the device. So from here I can have complete control of the device now that I'm at level 15.